Okay.
I feel like a news anchor.
Yeah. Yep. Welcome back, everybody, to Triangle Takedown. My name is Cloudsy. I'm joined here by Kev Doggy Dog, and I'm just honestly super excited for today. This is a game I actually know something about. I can talk about it a little bit more.
Fair enough. I mean, that's why you're on the mic and not on the back end this
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I'm excited as well because I've been watching Valorant for a very long time.
Mhm.
Maybe not in the Carolina collegiate scene, but just overall, casting it for years, being able to go through this. And I'm excited to see more with the Carolina collegiate scene, especially those that we have here for the Triangle Takedown, as these teams, these schools, they've been competing against each other for a very long time, but different iterations of these teams. And that's what collegiate esports is all about, those teamworks, being able to get everything out. And I'm just excited to see this first matchup because it's NC State, your home team, versus Chapel Hill. And we're going to be seeing it right now. They're getting in. Our first map of the day here on the A stream is Icebox.
Yeah, to be frank, Icebox was not something I expected. I'd be curious to see where this ended up on the pick and bans, but we're looking at a bit of a standard. I say that as I see a breach hovered as tucked behind that little rally cry logo. These are certainly interesting comps I'm looking at. You see some consistency, right? You see this Viper, you see the KJ, you see just a few. How do I say? A few characteristics of what you see on Icebox comps.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
a very common few agents, but you also have a few mix-ups. I saw a breach being hovered. I saw ISO. I saw, just some goofy stuff, to be frank.
and that's going to come through with how we are going to see different teams play. Obviously, we see Chapel Hill. They're starting on the attacking side. So that's Sova, Esper, going to be very utilized when it comes to pushing A as well. Learning where they are on the attacks, trying to go through. On B site as well, they can be utilized, just not as much, at least with that tracking dart. And those are really what you need to look for those attacks, trying to get that information before they even push out.
I mean, it's Icebox. It's
Yeah.
just going to be hit A simulator. I'll be so honest. Like, just playing this map is interesting. I'm not going to say miserable because that'd be mean, but it's interesting to say the least.
Anyone have funds to spare?
But we're getting right into the map here. We got Chapel Hill on the defense, NC State. Oh, no, excuse me. Chapel Hill on the offense.
Yep.
Excuse me. NC State on the defense. My colors look a little silly, so I was a little confused.
I mean, I'm excited because pistol round, everything could start out well for you. Hometown heroes, NC State, they're going to be looking to take this one very early on. We know that they are a strong team separately and as a team, as a collective as well. Chapel Hill, this is the first time I'm able to see them, so being able to understand how they are going to play together, that is truly what is going to set them apart and potentially take them in a very strong advantage going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, NC State is notably a strong team. As Fast here finds the first opening pick with a classic, just absolutely obliterates the enemy ISO. We got a shot, recon dart coming in, immediately broken by Port Shanus. A few trades back and forth as Freak finds another onto Esper. And now Port Shanus, recovered Ghost in hand, trying to find the player along this pipe's angle. Does not see quite anything.
It's going to come down to just that Sage Wall blocked every momentum they have. The only person that can get on site currently is going to be that breach. You have Viper with the wire, but right now it's going to be a crossfire from NC State. They're looking for the rotation. You could see on that mini map as well, KJ. They're going to be trying to get something out here in mid, but I don't know if they're ready for what is going to come. KJ versus KJ in mid, maybe.
Yeah, I mean you have that little re-explorer in the mid. The bomb's still down deep in A main, right? They're kind of at this weird ceasefire, right? NC State's kind of holding the line with 3 players. They're pretty confident in what Breach and Bueno can do to hold down that mid area and that B bomb site. So they've seen nothing. And you see Breach walking down tube now. He's gonna spot out the KJ turret, and he's gonna Nuthium finds one. Immediately traded back by Porchanis. Freak finds a third on the round. Porchanis finds God's Rampage. It is now just down to Freak as he just jiggles around the corner. Right clicks galore, finds 4 on the round, and that's going to bring NC State to 1.
That was picture perfect from Freak. 4K for them in the first round, let alone you had 3 on site. The crossfire, that sage wall, perfectly placed, perfect timing as well. Not too late, not too early to where it held them past the 30-second mark left in the round, where they were just forced to either commit to rotating off a B site, which they would have heard and gotten that rotation information, or just stick to A site. So just being able to play together, you said it. It's going to be an A site push simulator. Well, already that tracking dart as well going out, and it does look like Chapel Hill looking to push A.
Yeah, Chapel Hill looking to reaggress this A bomb site. Like I said, it's an A site simulator. I mean, it's not going to be, to be frank, it's not going to be much different from that. But Nuthium finding that opening pick, Bulldog in hand onto Porchanis, spots out the enemy ISOs. Lime dances with the classic, finds the frag, but Freak trades it right back. Generic finding the Bulldog, picking that up, recovered for the team. Esper with the classic, free gun by the way.
That is, yeah.
Finds the enemy jet as Freak, looking to clean up as much as possible, gets taken down by Seagull Can't Aim. It is just Bueno and Breeds in the 2v2 situation. Gun advantage in their favor, spots out checkmate. Viper Molly takes him down. You can't stand in those. And that'll be the round, I believe, for NC State.
It is indeed, but look at that Breach flash as well. The flashpoint came out, ended up flashing himself and the entire team. I don't know if NC State would have won that one. They had the advantage with the weaponry that they had in hand, but at the long range, SMGs aren't that useful. Classics probably would be better with that longer range shots. And the taking was there. Lime able to find one. So was Esper off of those classics. But we're just looking now, NC State up 2 rounds, and Chapel Hill haven't really been able to find many marks, but they're going to be playing a default area, looking for the lurks, looking for just a push over towards the B site. Let's see what they could do with this as well.
Yeah, you're going to see Chapel Hill slowly scale up towards this B site. No early aggression on A, so you can see Fast already calling for the rotate to this B bomb site. Just get the alarm bot spotted. They know that Chapel Hill is here. NC State playing really passive on the hold. God's fan page going to take first contact on the Lime. Finds the kill with that outlaw in hand. Chapel Hill now really hesitant to kind of continue to push this side. I think they're going to wait for another Viper Wall cycle. Try to get the timing here. Maybe try to draw a few rotates away. But NC State holding strong. The Owl Drone coming through. Maybe spots one. This Chapel Hill's going to slowly back away from this beam solid bomb site.
Yeah, that pick, early pick on the Lime as well. The only duelist Chapel Hill had. They don't have one of those entry players anymore. I mean, you have your Breach. They can use their flashpoint to bring themselves onto site. Maybe flash a defense player if possible. And you have Viper as well with your smokes. But other than that, you don't have much utilization when pushing out onto site other than that Sova trying to get the information for where those players from NC State are playing. The Viper Wall does go up, looking to get the spike planted as well. Does fall through, so the time is on NC State. And they're just surrounding everybody trying to find a pick. But God's fan falls first. Esper gets 3. Freak as well. The trade comes through. And into that 3v2 situation, NC State with the lurk found first.
Yeah, Breed's going to come late on the flank, find checkmate. Now it's a 2v2 situation. Breed's and Bueno in the clutch. Breed's finds it. Seagull Can't Aim goes down. Honestly, I think Chapel Hill did a lot of things right there. I think they had that bomb site for free. They played their space really well. Tried to get that trade back onto God's fan page. But unfortunately, with the Resurrection bait online, that didn't really matter too much. No. So it really turned back into a 5v4. NC State just had to kind of play the retake game, and it was lights out from there. And, I mean, NC State continues to play their trades in this favorable position. I think they're going to look pretty good for the rest of this map.
They're up 3 right now in the rounds.
Yeah.
We just finished the bonus round. Chapel Hill got really far, got the spike down as well, just could not finish it out, unfortunately for them. Looking into the 4th round, they're going to be able to get a full buy coming out here, most likely. But the aggressive peaks we might be seeing here from Gods, able to take down the turret and gets that information of how many people are in mid.
Yeah, we're going to see there's just a little bit of a B split. Really passive hold. You see with that Viper lurk wall towards B. I think it's Chapel Hill's really trying to explore this angle, trying to get some of this KG util off the table first, maybe looking into a re-explore of B, right? Try to draw some of this rotates, hold for the NC State rotates towards A. Scott Fanpage finds one onto Lime. That's the duelist going down again. Like, the amount of first deaths on this guy is concerning, to say the least. Lime, a great player from what I've seen from him in the past, but the amount of kills he had on him, Bueno, a rock on this B long angle, finds 3. Vandal in hand, bomb in NC State's possession. It is just checkmate. With the Deagle in hand as Bueno finds 4. And that's going to be another round for NC State, bringing us 4-0.
That was incredible from Bueno. Not even utilizing any of their abilities. Just straight raw aim skill coming out, headshot after headshot. Was able to catch Sova off guard. Esper looking the other way, trying to pick up a weapon if possible, just not finding the mark on it. And it was proper Valorant time. It was classic Valorant timing.
Classic Valorant
timing. At its best.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows, if you've ever played Valorant, if you've ever watched it, if you ever watched any TAC shooter, the timing cannot go to the wayside. You always need to be available of what is going on, head on a swivel, and Bueno making that statement heard.
Absolutely. Lime here, re-aggressing this B angle, but this time with an owl drone. So maybe we find someone first, as Nuthium catches out the mid lurk, or not mid lurk, excuse me, early pick in A main from Pipes, I believe. As Chapel Hill looking to aggress B, doesn't quite spot out Bueno on the angle. Bueno looks like a little bit of lag or a hardware issue there. As we're going to go back to a 4v3 situation favoring NC State. Hopefully get that tech issue fixed soon. We don't have to have a little pause in between rounds here. But Chapel Hill kind of regrouping here, trying to decide where to go. I think they realized they drew a lot of those NC State rotates to that B bomb site. Haven't quite tripped any of the KJ utility besides that alarm bot that they place in B main. And it's just fast. Now leaving the A bomb site, trying to make sure that they aren't routing through mid. Right there. The Sage wall there. So the second this starts to get broken, they're going to know, and NC State's going to flood.
Freak
coming back to go check on the status of the Sage wall. Spots out the elbow of the breach. Not going to do quite anything about it. A little bit of a missed slow orb as he finds checkmate. Spots Esper as well. Few pop shots going back and forth. Not able to find the kill, though. It's just Esper, and Seagull can't aim in the situation. And it does not matter. Gods and Freak are going to clean it up.
That was a great hold by NC State. Yes, the spike got planted. Chapel Hill got a little bit on their side, but now we are seeing truly just how patient NC State can be when it comes to the rotations. They're not trying to over-aggress. They're not trying to be too quick with the rotations. They want to leave one on site for those lurks, for the rotations as well, and Sage being the perfect agent to utilize for that as well. We saw that Sage fall through. We saw everything work out well for NC State, and that's going to be 5 rounds to nothing so far for Chapel Hill. And we're just going to have to wait and see on what Chapel Hill can do to bring themselves back into this game. Down 5 rounds. Haven't really seen much from them as much. They've been able to get a couple trades here and there, but they've also been playing very, very aggressive with their ISO, and nothing truly has shown from it yet.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, looking at their comp, I'm confused, to be frank. And I don't mean to bash anyone. It's just, why are we playing Breach on Icebox? I just don't understand.
Could be comfortability.
If it's a comfort pick, respect. I as a Flashes player, I respect that. But that's why. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense, right? You have Breach ult. It's not going to cover any of these sites. It's just going to be maybe for pushing into that empty space. Say you want to push Snowman, you want to push towards Orange, whatever. It'll help you get into that empty space. But for a lot of these early lines, you're sacrificing, I don't know, just any other greater util. And the ISO, good, yes, a good agent, but also you have no real space taking. You have no dive. You have nothing to get in there.
No.
So
And I would have preferred to see like a Reyna or Jet. I mean, NC State able to find it, those, but right now already, the quick aggression from defense from NC State. God's fan, the only one on site, finding another pick. And now it's left down to checkmate. It's going to be a quick peek into T-spawn. And right there, the attackers once more falling through. And we're seeing it again, though. And you were mentioning just those agents and how we see Breach here on Icebox. It might be more utilized on the defense. We are looking through. It may be more utilized because if you're trying to push in through A main, you're able to stop them right there with the Rolling Thunder. It's going to be good. Same with B as well, going through B main.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really much.
It's going to be, I think, yes, what you're saying about the Breach makes sense. I think having that fault line available to kind of stall out your mains and maybe take a swing, take a timing. But, oh, the recon dart not going to get broken there. You see the stun coming through, trying to catch out God's fan page. But we got a Eldrone coming through, Sage Wall online, and now it is the lockdown coming through. NC State needs to get out of dodge as UNC is just ripping all of their ults. Yeah. The only thing we're not seeing is what I like to call the domain expansion coming through.
The gulag, the
gulag,
the kill contract. Well, it is kill contract, yes. But now we're seeing a full flood from Chapel Hill here on site. That Hunter's Fury as well coming out, trying to pick off the plant from the spike. Kill contract is out. The shots do land, so Chapel Hill in a very strong position with site control, with the advantage of men on the pitch as well. Port going to be able to take down Breach. It's going to be a 5v2. This may be the first time we're seeing NC State in real trouble.
Yeah, and you see Bueno going to find the timing. Not able to find the frags, though, as Lime takes him out. As Nuthium finds one. Not able to find the second. And that is going to be the first round on the board for UNC Chapel Hill.
It's a good look. I like that. It was a very, very aggressive when it came down to being able to utilize those ults. We saw the lockdown go really early. That Hunter's Fury, little bit, in my opinion, over ambitious with it. I would have preferred for them to wait, be able to bring it back in after post plant, maybe see that, play off site, be able to keep yourselves and watch that lurk. It ended up working for them, yes. At what cost, though? They didn't lose any guns. They didn't lose, but they lost 3 to 4 ultimates on the team.
Yeah, I think if you're NC State, you're kind of looking at that and you're like, we just got all of their ults out for nothing. And we took away another, like, what, 3 guns? 2 guns? So I'm sitting pretty if I'm NC State. I'm not worried about this. Zero bias, by the way. But we're going to look. See, Chapel Hill re-exploring this A-bomb site. They are adamant to go here. We have 3 NC State players here waiting for them. And I believe, just from the positioning, Gods has a operator in hand, perchance?
Most likely.
Perchance? I mean just seeing him top yellow, that looks like a very dangerous position.
It's a good agent as well. I think it goes untalked about, or at least not spoken a lot, with Jet being that movement-based duelist. Being able to have the operator in hand is going to be so worthwhile, but Lime as well goes down very quickly. Chapel Hill trying to storm onto site, just nothing to show for it in Bueno, looking to get aggressive already. It's a 1v5 situation where they found themselves in the first round. On the other hand, they managed to do it for themselves here, and NC State taking one more round.
Yeah, that'll bring NC State to 6. I mean, it was a really, really solid hold. Oh, sorry, we're at 7. My apologies.
7-1.
Counting is hard. Sometimes
Caster
I
math
lose
is hard,
track.
guys. Listen, a lot of people don't understand this, but caster math,
Caster
it's
math
very
is
hard.
Different.
It's very it's difficult than just your normal math classes, guys. I'm telling you that right now. No class will make you ready for caster math.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got out the Rolling Thunder there from Chapel Hill, and Breach was just in such a perfect spot to absolutely take the head off of Lime. Yeah. And now it's looking like Chapel Hill maybe on a bit of a rough buy here, gonna explore mid, maybe spot out Breach, finds the kill immediately, Breach finds one, immediately traded back, and now NC State just fully reacting to this orange push. It is just one player remaining, Esper, Guardian in hand, unable to do anything, as NC State gonna commandingly take that round 8-1.
I do like it, though. They were able to just show off, be able to try something different, it worked out well for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It worked out well for like 2 seconds, but regardless of that, it was something different, something we haven't seen before. So it's still nice to see, and we are able to take a look right now. Freak. We saw them get the 4K in the first round, and now they're 11-4 as well. Nobody on Chapel Hill has a positive KD at the moment, but they've had individual shining moments.
I mean, with an 8-1 scoreline, you can't expect much. You can expect someone to be even, at the very least. It's just rough. I think NC State's doing a really good job of kind of commanding the space. I mean, Nuthium getting a little over-aggressive there, in my opinion, but it's, you know, all's well that ends well. Immediately traded back fast, gonna get spotted out by Lime. You can see him take the rope, finds Breets, as fast, retreats to the backside position, vulnerable. Lime looking to swing, gets taken out immediately. Seagull finds another. As God's fan page is looking to clean up the mess that his team might have made on site. It is just Port Shanus. Bueno coming late on the rotate. Bomb in hand. Port Shanus in the 1v2. Is not aware of Bueno's position. Yes, he is. Finds the frag. 1v1 situation. God's fan page going to spot him out here. Port Shanus, 11 HP. Looking to get out of this bomb site. Running straight to B. Going to go back to his 1v1. I think he's going to get the plant down. Generic going to stay complacent. Stay in place. Try to wait for this bomb to go down. Force them to make a decision. And re-clear after the fact.
This is proper David and Goliath. Right now, Port Shanus, they are looking like David. It's been a full Goliath push out from NC State here on the defense. Gods trying to fall through in from pipe, able to get up top. This lurk out from Port Shanus does find the headshot, and that will be the second round for Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill looking to make something happen here. Like, really good positioning from Port Shanus. I think truly there were a lot of things you could do there, and I know that's vague, but I think that might have been the best option, to be frank. I wouldn't have expected that. As a player, I wouldn't have expected that. I would have been looking towards Snowman. I would have been looking towards Yellow, especially for where Port Shanus had planting the bomb, finding his timings to get back towards that orange position to kind of just say, okay, I have a free headshot angle on you, and that's it. That's the round.
Yeah, and you could tell he was not expecting him to be there as well, just by the way he was running in from mid. He was full running, not trying to sneak around, not trying to give them any information. He didn't care. He was expecting, okay, I know I have the shots on him. As long as I know where he is, as long as I can find that information out, it's going to be all my round. NC State, though, now looking a little worse for wear. As I say that, God's fan page able to take down Esper with a clean headshot. Once more, NC State have the advantage here, and it does look like a rotation may be at hand. That smoke will fall through from Viper, so they officially can push up through mid, but it will be just a matter of whether or not they are going to commit to something and play the trades.
Yeah, Chapel Hill doing a really good job of kind of trying to take their tempo. They're still commanding the space pretty well. You know, getting rid of that KJ util, finding their timings with Viper Orb. You see that we have Lime inserted on that A line, like just really pushed up. He does have no double tap in hand. He did use that very early into the round. That's where we saw the stage wall come out from NC State. But Chapel Hill made a little bit of a poke towards mid, got rid of that KG utility. Now they're coming back to A, but it looks like NC State is privy to that information. You're going to see the fault line come through as Freak finds one, but NC State's already out of the position. They're back to holding passive angles, waiting for Chapel Hill to swing them. They know they have to come to them. Freak finds another. Freak finding a third on the round. It is just Seagull can't aim as Freak finds four, bringing NC State to 9.
Second 4K for Freak in one round as well. Did it in the pistol round? Did it here in the 11th as well. It's diabolical what we're seeing from NC State, just how well they're able to play off one of each other, and also how well they are playing these off angles. A lot of the gameplay we're seeing from NC State is not common at Plat, Diamond, and stuff like that. They're only known to the highest level, and we're seeing that difference.
Yeah, I mean, even then, like, both these teams are made up of relatively high players, I would say within top 2% of the player base, just generally, right? Lime just looking to rip that kill contract and finds nothing as the double tap is going to expire. So that's both opportunities to have that double tap online just gone, and within the first 10 seconds of the round.
Yeah.
As NC State just going to go back to holding this passive space, they're just going to wait to find their peaks, find their swings, as Bueno has worked his way all the way up B main, NC State knows now that they have to be A or mid. You're going to see Bueno able to take maybe some contact as Chapel Hill's looking to re-clear this space. But it looks like they're on a bit of a scuffed buy. Deagles in hand. Deagles, Ghosts, pistols in hand. They just need to find something together. At least trade out to find a gun, recover a rifle, make something happen here.
That Blade Storm as well on God's fan page. It may come in handy right now as he's going to be checking mid. Chapel Hill do fall off just in time. An Operator and a Blade Storm on a Jet is scary, let alone on God's fan page. Regardless of it, they are going to be looking towards B site, and they may just meet their maker. Already still there. Bueno playing around yellow, able to find Lime, looking for another one, but Port Shanus trades him out. But the information is there. The lockdown may have been called, and they still have their Pit Viper as well. But now it's going to be a matter of whether or not they can utilize it properly. Hasn't been able to find much. God's fan page finds one. Lockdown's taken down as well. It's Port Shanus versus the world, and they're just not looking up top. Nuthium will take them down, and that will be the 10th round going into the second half for NC State.
That's a pretty commanding half of your NC State. Not much more to improve on. Maybe a few checking of corners in the case of Port Shanus in that round, I believe round 10. But we're getting a new half, new team. We could see a little bit of something shake up here as NC State now on the attack. Pistol rounds are where a lot of things happen. If I'm Chapel Hill, I need this pistol round. That's just the cold hard truth. If they lose this, they have to find some kind of eco win. I keep just kind of circling back to they need to win more rounds, but I think that's kind of the point of the game.
I mean, I feel like, but also the first 2 rounds, if you cannot win that pistol round, it's about a 80-85% chance that you are not going to be winning that second round either. But that's going to be the end of the game, or at least match point if they can't find it. Because if you don't win either of those 2 rounds, your bonus round going into the 3rd round of the half still is not strong. Let's see what they can do, though, here, as it does look to be a B push with a bit of a lurk out onto A. And I don't know what we're going to see here. It's going to be a very passive B hold from Chapel Hill, and we may be able to see exactly how that breach will be able to come into effect.
Yeah, and you see NC State looking to speed up towards his B bomb site because Breach just immediately, he's controlling this A space, and he just recognizes the push. Finds one, gets some good damage onto Esper, but this just means that NC State is pushing into a weak side, right? They know that they can push into this weak side. They have the space. As God Fans Page finds the timing through the wall, Port Shanus and Nuthium gonna go a little back and forth on the right clicks. Nuthium finds the frag. It is just Esper at 22 HP, but NC State has pushed past the wall, and they're just going to swing one by one and find their frag, bringing the score 11-2.
The numbers game, just the control that NC State has had here on this series so far. We're getting a timeout from Chapel Hill. Maybe they'll be able to bring everything back, but because of that, it's now going to just be a matter of whether or not Chapel Hill can play together as a team. They, of course, didn't win this pistol round, so now they're coming in with an eco buy, and they're forced to buy here, basically, because if they don't, match point for NC State, and it's going to be very, very precarious if they cannot find the second round.
I mean, yeah, it's gotta be a miracle. It's gotta be a force down. It's gotta be kill everyone with classics somehow, some way. I mean, there's the statistic is like, oh, you win 15% of your ecos, right? Which is there are a lot of factors that go into that, but generally in an even matchup, right, 15% of ecos are won.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Chapel Hill win an eco, much less more than 2 rounds, right? It's hard. I don't think they're winning 15% of rounds, much less 50% of ecos.
I mean, right now they are sitting on about 15% wins here in this game. Now, though, we're going to be seeing the Sheriffs. We may be seeing some Spectres. We may be seeing some Stingers as well. Maybe a Marshal here and there. We haven't really been seeing any sniping gang from Chapel Hills. But if someone is a little bit confident going into this round, which I don't know if they will be or not, there is three Marshals coming out from Chapel Hill, looking to get those out here. We see the stack up from Esper and Lime. Can't find God's fan page, but that would have been a huge pickoff if they were able to land.
Yeah, I mean it's the idea of this gun does 202 to the head. So it's you know, what they need in this situation, especially if they just hold this up down on the A bomb site. Double marshals in hand. Lime gonna get some pop shots off, but the Sage Heal gonna come right back, recover that HP as Nuthium finds one on the Lime. 5v4 for NC State. Bonus weapons in hand, as they're just gonna slowly take over this bomb site bit by bit. The wall coming through, forcing Esper to back away. Wait for his team, but he isn't able to as Gods finds another. Bueno looking to take a fight out of heaven. A little bit of a whiff. His port chain is with the stinger in hand. Finds one. Finds a second with the classic as Freak cleans it up behind him. But to be fair, I wasn't expecting the second. I thought that was a really goofy little right click. Spam with the left click. Just oh my goodness.
It somehow worked. For the moment, they were able to take 3 off of the team of NC State, but match point once more, 12-2. I'm looking to see exactly what we are going to be getting here, because if NC State somehow falter going into this bonus round, now it's going to be the question of whether or not they are playing well on attacking side, because you can win when it is just pistols and then also a eco buy against your opponents. Now it's going to be a matter of whether it's still an eco buy, yes, but if you can hold now that you have a full loadout.
Yep. I mean, just something I want to point out in terms of stats. What do you think a seagull's favorite flavor of pie is?
I'm not answering this question.
It's look, I'm sorry. I had to point out the Pie Watch. It's sorry, not Pie Watch. The pie actually happened, but I thought it'd be funny to say. Esper finding one onto God's fan page in mid. It's a 3v4 for NC State. In this current situation, I think the more I talk a little bit of crap about Chapel Hill and I show that I'm maybe a little biased, NC State starts to crumble. I think this is my caster curse coming through, but Freak finding another 3v3 as Lime finds the frag, the double dink onto Nuthium. It is now a 3v1 situation for Breets.
We were talking
finds one onto Seagull.
We were talking about whether or not NC State will crumble, and I think your caster curse may came to a pro. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome into the caster world of caster curse is real, and for those of you saying it's not, it is real. We are seeing it here live now because Breets, the only one alive, roughly about double his health is all Chapel Hill have, but they also have equal weaponry. The Outlaw and the Spectre may not match up to a Vandal, but together can be a very deadly combo. You still have ISO as well. May have a double tap, may have a contingency wall to bait them out. The Firebolt coming through with that Owl drone, trying to scope out where he is. They just can't find him, so the information not there, and the retake coming in.
Yeah, with the Recon Bolt coming through, they've figured out Breets is probably playing off of sight now. They're going to try to not take ones here as Breets swings a little wide, finds a frag, but Esper able to get the wall bang. And that'll bring Chapel Hill to 3, which is a good sign. I think Lime really came up big that round. You saw the Outlaw finding one onto Freak, and then the turnaround double dink from God knows how far away with the classic was insane.
It was.
I just look, I don't know who Lime paid at Riot to have his classic do that, but I need mine to do stuff like that. I'm sorry. It's just the...
I can't even find my Vandal to do that. Let alone a classic. I can't even have my Vandal do that.
I hear you.
My Phantom, Vandal, Outlaw, none of it doesn't connect like that. I wish I was able to find that. But Chapel Hill, at least a little bit of life here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I'm glad to see we still got hope. That's truly what I like here. But NC State, they're not slowing down. I think they're going to up the tempo a little bit here, taking a lot of that B main space. Kind of something similar to what we saw in Pistol. Checkmate going to be spotted here by the Recon Bolt, getting sniffed out by Bueno. And Chapel Hill now forced to play a passive position, try to maybe play some retake, a little bit of stall. As NC State just kind of sits really passive. But look at Freak. He's taking his timing. He's stuck underneath this nest area. A little tap of the bomb. As Lime tries to take a few pop shots onto God's fan page. And NC State now in a post-plant situation. Time is against UNC Chapel Hill. Aldrone spots out Lime. I think Freak is going to maintain this position for as long as possible. He is the win condition. As you see the Hunter's Fury coming through. Spots out Esper, the last player remaining. And NC State takes it 13-3. in a commanding fashion.
I don't think there's any other word than dominant that we are going to be able to say about NC State here in this tournament overall. We all know, everybody in the world should know, NC State is a powerhouse within Valorant, and now they are proving it once more. 13-3. A lot of teams normally play closer where it's 13-10, 13-9. If you find a 9-3 half, somehow you Cloud9 yourself. But they didn't even get to 9-3 in the half. It was 10-2. So there was a chance. There was a chance. Don't get me wrong. There was a chance.
There was a chance.
But we didn't see the inevitable doom half scoreline.
Yep.
And with that being said, though, NC State as well just came in commanding, yes, and dominant even more so.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't want to say that this is something I didn't expect, but I kind of expected this. I mean, NC State, fresh off of their Seagull Nationals qualifying match, I think as of yesterday.
Yeah.
So they're feeling hot. They're feeling good. And to be frank, it's just a guy diff. That's really all I can chalk it up to be. But, you know, we're going to get ready to go in this next match. I believe... Not 100% sure we have up next on the lineup.
UNCG versus UNCA.
UNCG versus UNCA. Okay.
Greensboro versus Asheville.
Okay. I'm excited to see
That's
it.
going to be a banger matchup.
I believe.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll be right back after a couple minutes. We'll see where we're at. Stay tuned.
Miles was at. Yeah, I think it's there was threes mount.
Welcome back, everybody, to Triangle Takedown. You know who I am. You know who that is. Same old, same old. Nothing to change here. We're getting ready for UNCG against UNCA. How are you feeling about this, Kev?
I'm feeling good because I have never seen these teams before. Let's be completely honest here. I'm gonna be completely honest here with you guys, the audience, and also my co-caster here, because he knows these teams. You know NC State. You know the tournaments. You know the events and who is a part of it. However, I don't. So I don't know what to expect. I'm coming in here blind, literally.
Yeah.
But because of that, it makes it so much more interesting for me because now I get to experience, along with the fans, hey, who's going to take this? What is the dominant team in this tournament? And also, what are the storylines going through? And I'm excited to say that I will be able to experience that along with everybody watching at home.
Yeah, I mean, the most, honestly, I know about these teams is a conversation I just had with the UNCA director or their, university stand-in, Croat the Goat, and all I heard is that they like to choke. And that's the intel I got. So
all right, so Greensboro has this one. Gotcha.
So I mean, I mean, there's no bias, there's no nothing. This is just the information I was given, and we'll see if it turns to fruition. Like, that's really all I got in terms of what we got for this matchup. But I'm excited to see it. I'm ready to see some of these teams play. I haven't gotten to see some of them. I've, as a competitor in collegiate, have stepped back over the past couple of years, so I haven't exactly gotten to interact with a lot of these teams.
I'm just happy about one thing. I'm happy about one thing, and that Bind is not going to be played today because it's not in the competitive map pool.
You're not a Bind
I'm a Bind lover, but I've seen so much of it.
Seen so much.
Everybody goes Bind. It's like everybody's favorite map. It's the most common map, I feel like, in the map pool overall. And because it's not going to be in here, we're going to get those different maps. And I'm so excited to say that we are on Haven, another classic map in Valorant, yes, but at least it's not Bind.
At least it's not Bind. And I fully get it. It's, for some people, Bind's a hit or miss map. But out of the side of UNCG, we're going to look at a standard comp, right? This is kind of your default in terms of that. Maybe a little switch up on the duelist, kind of what's comfort for them. But let's look at what UNCA's comp is, and the Raze immediately is throwing me off. It is truly something that is a little crazy. We're cooking. Just looking at what's being hovered here. We see the KJ come in. KJ now finding her way back into the meta because Teo got nerfed, thankfully. Because I'm sorry, with the initial Teo release, KJ just couldn't exist, and I really felt bad for my Sentinel players.
Yeah.
Like Vice, yes, overpowered, but KJ can find her way back in on certain maps like Haven and Fracture, stuff like that. But the final comp gonna be Sova, Raze, Omen, Teho, KJ, which the craziest part of that is that we don't have flashes, I feel. And the Raze I think may be a comfort pit for Kuzo, which fully understand. That's I've more to you. If you're not gonna Rosa, that's perfectly fine. But I think also it's, how do I say? It's truly an interesting comp, and I want to see what they do with it. But we have Asheville starting on this defensive side. And it looks like UNCG is gearing up for an early mid hit on this pistol round.
Yeah, and I'm ready to see exactly how these teams are going to play. Because like you said, Raze on Haven. It's a bit of a comfort pick, yes. Going to be very interesting to see how they utilize that. I mean, your showstopper, though, going to be very problematic for the UNCG offense. If that showstopper can get utilized more often than not, that's going to be a proper burial pick as they do look to be pushing straight into B site. The fault line doesn't come through. The Omen trying to teleport away. Banana Man just can't find time to make it work. And already straight push in. Greensboro on site and with control.
Yeah, Lenny Bear immediately just finding that pick onto the enemy Omen. This Pandec's going to find another. We're going to be in a 4v3 situation. Immediately the numbers turning the way of UNCA as Griptic finds another. It is now a 4v3 on the retake. Huddled up in this garage position is UNCG as their Omen backs away towards long, finds one onto Cal. Tapping of the bomb as the one-way is there. A few little pop shots coming through. The fault line coming as well. UNCA aware of the garage players, but are they aware of the Omen down long? Kuzo finds one, immediately traded back by JRD. And now the time ticks down, 47 HP. Aware of JRD, he's the last one alive, 1v1 situation. The spraying of the bullets as the bomb is halved. Can he stick it through? Yes, he can! As JRD gonna get immediately taken down after the fact, and UNCA is gonna get taken to 1.
Pros don't fake. I think that saying goes without even mentioning what happened in the round, because they got to half, yes, and then they just finished it out. They knew if they did not stick this spike diffuse, it's going to go off, and UNCG will get the first round, that pistol round as well. It's going to be trouble in Asheville if they could not finish it out. The retake, though, very strong. They went down into a 3v5 very quickly, coming through that rotate in from B over to C through the CT side. It was very good and very well utilized for Greensboro, but now it's going to be a matter of whether or not they could play that again, as they're already down 2 men on the squad.
Yeah, Yeet and Banana Man both going to find their respective picks as UNCG now backing away towards, the C long side of the bomb site. As the bomb goes down, this is already a great eco round for UNCG. They've gotten bomb down, not quite found any picks, but they're looking to do some damage as they find Kuzo in garage. The drone gonna find the Cypher, already backed away. The yellow ping being a little misleading. Recovers the rifle as it's just Cal and Yeet to spray down the remaining UNCG forces in that garage hallway, as UNCA will win their bonus round, or win their gun round. Excuse me.
They do indeed, and now that is also 2 rounds for UNCA to push themselves up. Greensboro, very strong early offense on the attack. Haven't really been able to play those post-plant metas or just post-plant gameplay in general. We're seeing them taken down, no trades coming out, and especially in garage, because now they planted C twice.
Yeah.
They tried holding garage multiple times. They haven't been able to do it, and because of it, it's came into a problem for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're ending towards that C site more often than not in these last 2 rounds. I'm curious to see if that's going to be a pattern for UNCG's attack, but we're going to get right back into the round here. You see some shots going back and forth. Lenny Bear and Kuzo. Now, this is UNCG's buy round. You're looking to have them hold on to as many of these rifles as possible. But UNCA not having a lot to work with, I recall from the previous round. Just a lot of SMGs, maybe a Guardian or 2. We do see Banana Man, I believe, with this Odin on B, looking to sniff out the enemy Cypher. As UNCG is gearing towards the C-bomb site. Smoke's going out. Are they going to check Yeet? He is stunned, so they will find the frag. 4v3 situation for UNCG as the bomb goes down. Planted for long.
See what they could do here, because they're in another post-plant situation, but they do have the numbers advantage here. Recon Bolt going out, able to get the information that they're playing there from the CT side. Looking for it, coming through. They're holding garage as well. Pushed onto site. Griptic finds one, traded out very early. And now that will be Greensboro to get their first round of this first half.
Yeah, I mean, we're off to a pretty standard start, from what I'd say. Nice shots going back and forth from the side of UNCA, but just not able to close it out. I think just having those rifles online is really huge. I mean, just just a few unfavorable weapons that were maybe a little more situational than someone would like. But, you know, is what it is. We're going to go into this round, everyone with rifles in hand, and we're going to see what happens here. It looks like a little bit of an I want to say default-ish kind of thing. Probably going to try to control some of this shorter, long space. You see the long control smoke coming through. UNCG looking to control this space as they work mid a little bit, kind of get rid of some of this KJ util. You see the paint shells coming out already from Kuzo. That's a very early burn of that piece of util. Very important, I want to say, for their defensive hold as Lenny Bear and friends kind of just inch up this short position. The Aldrone going to go out, clear out any potential defenders. Kuzo going to try to tuck best he can, spots out the Sova back site, and Kuzo himself is found. Swings the angle, taken out by 2. JRD finding the frag. And now it is just the one on the bomb site. They're going to maybe try to pull some rotates. I believe that Banana Man hears this rotate out. And they're slowly shifting to stack towards this A bomb site.
Yeah, but they can't be too quick on that rotation. You could see Tejo as well, just trying to hold all the way back, looking to play this one safely. They're still favoring this A push, now going to be going for A split. Fault line does come through, stunning out Eleni, trying to get on site. What can they do? They're fully on site. Conflicts going out each way around this default box. Trades here and there, but the spike will be planted just momentarily. Actually, no, they fake off the spike plant. They do eventually get it down, but at what cost? That's time ticking that gives Asheville a better chance of repositioning for this retake.
Yeah, Asheville got a little bit more time to reposition going into this retake, like you said. I mean, also the top of the spike, trying to bait out some of this retake util, you know, trying to deny any kind of flood, as Yeet and Cal both going to get sprayed down. Maybe a little awkward positioning from the side of UNCA, but, you know, it was overall a pretty good site take. UNCG finding those early picks, really capitalizing on those frags. Did a great job of taking that site, and I don't want to say it was unfortunate for UNCA. I think they did the best that they could. You know, that cutting of noise and then the eventual re-hit when they were just starting to kind of inch away from that A bomb site just kind of caught them off guard a little bit. But UNCG moving directly back to their home turf of that C bomb site that we saw in the first couple of rounds, as they are not slowing down by any means.
No, they're not, and they're trying to push straight in to C site. Has the information, looking for Kuzo again. The Hunters Furies teaming up once again after each other, and due to it, both of them will take some damage, but it doesn't find the best of it. Asheville, 2 players down. Rays on very low HP as well, but they do push in through tunnel, going into garage. They managed to find it, managed to bring it to a 4v3, but quickly brought back with a down advantage. More a 1v4, 4 ultimates for Greensboro as well. So he's just going to be trying to push straight in. The sprays through the smoke, though, end that one very quickly for Greensboro.
Yeah, I mean, it was a, you know, an eco round for the side of UNCA, so they kind of didn't have a whole lot to work with. They did find their value, though. You know, Kuzo with that quick little right click through the smoke, even on being, what, probably 25 HP? Kind of hard to tell. But, you know, low HP, got that quick little right click through the smoke. They did find their damage, find their frags. You're going to find a good bit of rebuying of shield. The UNCG economy is sitting pretty as of right now. I mean, UNCA obviously coming off their eco, maybe have, you know, they have enough to buy down rifles, but it's, you know, they like to have more. You can always have more. But UNCG taking a slower approach this round, kind of re-exploring mid. A little bit of a 1-3-1 kind of thing as they clear out this KJ util and garage. They are aware of Kuzo's position, but he finds one. Boombot going to spot out the remaining UNCG players in the garage as the Recon Bolt picks him off. Cal with the salvos online finds Lenny Bear. Gives Yeet the opportunity to find him as Cal now gets picked off on A by Trey. The lurk coming through, the Omen from the shadows gets UNCG the bomb site for free and forces Asheville, despite having numbers advantage to play this retake situation. If Sponge can come up huge here, find a frag early to equalize, this could be a good post plant for UNCG. The stall coming through. Kuzo finding his way into heaven. Is Sponge aware? Unable to react. Kuzo, showstopper online. A little bit of a whiff. Trades going back and forth. 3v1 situation for Trey. Unable to find it. His grip tech through the smoke finds the frag. That'll bring UNCA to 3.
And we are back at another tie game. 1-1, 2-2, 3-2-3 here, going into the 7th round. And now it is time to truly see who is going to take those steps up going into that second half. We're halfway through the first one, about 25% through the game if we go all the way to the final round. And now truly is where it stands, as one team will be able to push forward while the other one unfortunately falls back. Low eco on the side of UNCA. So if they don't win this round, trouble may be coming back to Asheville.
Yeah, I mean, it's UNCG is doing a really good job of kind of taking this early space, but not really doing much else with it, right? They're finding this KJ util, they're denying the space, but it doesn't seem like they're giving themselves enough time to pause. As I say that, they are just instantly diving into this B-bomb site as Lenny Bear finds one through the smoke. UNCA now forced to play off. They do have plenty of denial util. They have the salvos, they have the boom bot to clear out some deep angles. Gonna spot out JRD. The scan not finding him. AVL finds one, finds two. Kuzo finding the third. It's just Lenny Bear now. Backside gong, unable to get another. Just swarmed by the UNCA players, brings him the 4. We do have a couple pivotal ults online for UNCA. I'm really excited to see. The problem with their team comp, at least for me, is that on a map like Haven, is you don't have a breach on the defensive side. We were talking about it a little bit earlier when we were watching Icebox between NC State and Chapel Hill. You know, that fault line could come in huge to kind of stall out some stuff. But coupled with the Teo util is deadly. It is devastating, especially with this, I forget the exact name of the ultimate, but the Teo ult,
Armageddon.
Carpet bomb. It's, you know, we know what it does.
Yeah.
But coupled with a breach stun, maybe C long or one of these really elongated positions, could prove deadly for any incoming UNCG push.
It really can. Look at B and C. Similar setups going from the attacker's side, where it's a one lane with a cubby on either side. Now we are looking through into garage trades, going out 3v3 left here, trying to push out onto C, but they did leave the spike all the way back, wondering whether or not they want to commit to that garage and C push, or if they're gonna go forward. The lurk coming out from Trey, able to spot out Cal, now knowing that the site is fairly well uncontested, and they will be able to try to get that spike planted. Pandex, though, sitting on B, 1v3 here in the middle of the map, and he's able to take down 2, 1v3. Asheville will not find any more 4K for Pandex, and he's been activated for this Greensboro squad.
They sleep on the breach lurk. That's all I'm saying. It's a tactic I've employed myself. They sleep on it. The breach lurk comes in clutch, just flashing for yourself, finding your frags. I mean, we saw that garage push get shut down immediately, but it seems like UNCG has a pretty good idea that they're, to be frank, and we're seeing Yeet do it again, the same KJ setup every round. Okay, they've switched up the turret this round, thankfully, right? They sent 2 in to essentially just go die, break the KJ util, and you had the Cypher lurk all the way up A. They had so much space for free, and you could immediately tell where the UNCA weak side is. Kuzo and JRD immediately going to trade. Pandex finding another, going to put UNCG in a numbers advantage. As Trey, again, look at these lurk timings. He's just so clean on finding these timings to work with. I'm not sure if he's aware. Yes, he is. Banana Man is not able to find the frag. Goes down to Trey. Wasn't aware of the lurk. I think Trey is now aware of Yeet. Peeking this C-long position, and he's going to go down. The bomb's going down A. Griptic aware. He is tucked in heaven. But is UNCG aware of the position? Shock Dart coming through. They've spotted Griptic. He's aware of the push CT as Pandex finds the frag.
It's just an unfortunate situation. They haven't really been able to figure out Greensboro on this attack yet. They get some rounds here and there. Yes, they got 2 very early on, the first 2 rounds. Then they get 2 later on in quick succession. But then as well, you mentioned that lurk in the middle. First, we see it with Breach. Pandex able to take down 3 in on B. And then you also see Trey now looking for that lurk. They don't have a specific person on the flex, on the flank, on all of that. They don't have, well, they probably have an IGL, but they don't have a specific opper. They don't have a specific flex. They don't have a specific lurker. They play it as needed, and that is a strong team composition that is very underutilized in pro and collegiate play.
Yeah, I mean, it's having that flexibility really makes a team shine. As you see, Yeet finding a kill with the Bucky on the trade. They're catching out that lurk. They know it's coming at this point. As you see, we're aware of the A push from UNCG, right? You had that owl drone down into short. Now the Rolling Thunder coming through. Gonna spot Cal. The concussed coming through as well. Lenny Bear knows he's there. Still concussed. Finds the frag. As UNCG now just has the site for free. A 3v4 retake for the side of UNCA. They do have that lockdown online, but it could be countered by the Hunter's Fury. You're going to see the lockdown come through here. Are they going to commit the Hunter's Fury, or are they going to play off? There it is, the Hunter's Fury online, as Yeet going to try to flood into the site. Not aware of Lenny in graffiti. Kuzo going to get taken down as well. Banana Man with the Guardian in hand. They know one player's detained. They do not know his position. Smoke going to go down on the bomb. Spots Spung. He's going to find him, but not able to get the frag, as UNCG going to be brought to 6.
It's unfortunate as well. You were detained on site,
Yeah.
but not committed to the final elimination to give yourself that. And because of the fault line, he had to stay off the spike. The smoke was down as well. It was plenty of cover. Yes, you could spray through it. It's not a cove from Harbor to where it's armored up. But you just are here trying to stick it, and you don't really have many options. You only have that one option. Either you fake it, get the headshot. You only can get one shot off, because at that point, you're out of the smoke. You have no cover. You're going to get found out, and that's exactly what ended up happening. But also, Asheville now are down 2 rounds going into so far this 11th round, trying to get out of harm's way. But the Jet, Lenny Bear, hyper aggression over the top, spray down, and control of the site once more. The Armageddon will come out from Cal. It does find some damage. Showstopper as well. Kuzo able to take some damage off of it. Trade it out quickly. But that 4v5 from Greensboro quickly turned into a 1v2. Trying to spray through. Lined up. Just could not finish the connection. And Greensboro are storming away with this one.
Yeah, really big round out of Cal. I mean, UNCG did a great job kind of waiting out the ultimates there. I mean, you know, you had Kuzo with the Showstopper coming out of C-Link. Finds his one who's right in front of him. But the Armageddon didn't really find much. I think that's going to circle back to what I was talking about with the Breach. You don't really have anything to kind of pin them in place, right? You need to play around with ults like the Armageddon, pinning them in place to make it so that it's either you're coming into my crosshair or you're dying to the Armageddon and there's no in between. Yeah. I think without a Breach, it makes that job a lot harder, but Griptic just ripping the Sova ult off Rip, going to get so much value. Finds Lenny Bear, and I believe Trey as well. Just a little bit of damage, brought down to a measly 20-ish HP. As Kuzo has walked fully out of C, spots the barrel of JRD, gets the one tap. He's aware of Spung's position. Not going to be spotted just yet. Few pop shots brought down to 18 HP. He's really looking for more, but it looks like UNCG is going to let him be for now. Choose to let him live another day, and that might be a fatal mistake. As you see, he starts to creep up for the backstab. They're aware of Cal's position. Deep short here, as Trey is trying to make some noise. Goat Banana Ban, finding the spray down with the Ares.
Look at this. Pandex completely unseen. Maybe Cal spots him out here at long. No, the timing was quite perfect for Pandex, as well as Sponge now. He's sitting in garage, but that site is going to be clear on A. And now he's trying to get away, using from the shadows. Will be able to team up once more. Looking for that spike, trying to get a couple of those ult orbs there. Trying to get a couple ult points as well. Pandex, very aggressive. Cal on the back end, though, is on site. May be able to spot one. Can find the frag onto Pandex. And that 1v5 turned quickly again into an Asheville very early on aggression from that Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, do you see Sponge now in the 1v4? Finds the first on the Cal. Aware of the enemy position. Unable to find the second onto Yeet. And that'll be the round for Asheville, bringing us to a 7-5 half. Honestly, kind of a textbook half coming from the attackers, right? Haven notably favors attackers for the most part. So seeing a 7-5 half doesn't surprise me. I think that's kind of just where this map ends up unless we see some really exceptional gameplay from either side. But I think in terms of team comp, this is not far from what I expected. I'm really excited to see what Asheville's gonna cook up with this, with the Teo and the Rays going into this attack half. But otherwise, I think I'm not gonna see much far from the norm out of UNCG.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. it's gonna be a wait and see moment, I think.
I have one qualm with this though. I would have preferred, instead of an Omen and a Breach, I would have preferred to have, at least on Greensboro side, I would prefer a Brim either a Brim or an Astra.
Okay.
And then also another Flash. You still don't have any flashes besides that Breach, but it could be utilized so much better if you have those Brims, because you have the longer smokes and you have 3 of them as well to take this A site.
Yes, I think yes and no. I think it's just the fundamentals of having a 3-site map. You need to have retardable smokes. I think that's truly where the meta comes through on here. I see Goat Banana Man. That's a mouthful. Finds one, and now it's just Trey and JRD just spamming through the smoke, trying to find their frags. They're still not aware of Trey.
Oh my god.
It's Cal gonna peek through the smoke, gets taken out. Goat Banana Man finds the frag, immediately trading out by Spung. It is now a 1v2 Yeet short position. He's aware of Spung's position. It's a matter of who peeks first. The Omen smoke not going to come through just yet. They're trying to let Lenny Bear work, clear out some of these angles. A few jiggles. Yeet is now aware of the positions. He's just going to try to find his timing, have someone overextend. Lenny Bear gonna peek the short position, unable to find the pick is Yeet. And that'll bring UNCG to 8.
Yeah, and it's just another moment where we're seeing aggressive play. Even on the defense, they pushed up very quickly from that A site and then backed off just as quick, knowing that, hey, we need to buy time for my teammates to get here. And they did that as well. The plant was stopped. They did not get the spike down. So that's not any additional funds in the pockets of Asheville. And they're going into this second round of the half completely broken.
Yep. I mean, you saw the site smoke come in for the side of UNCG, and that really posed some trouble for Asheville. They just didn't quite know how to push through that, how to deal with it. See Griptic gonna get taken, pinged out by the Cypher trip. Trades going back and forth. Honestly, a great position if you are UNCA. You're looking at this saying, we've gone even in terms of trades with inferior weaponry, as Cal's gonna get tagged by the Owl Drone and taken out. Kuzo with 2 finds 4 on the round, and that'll bring Asheville to 6. A fantastic eco round from them.
So what was the percentage you said in the first series with eco round wins? 15%?
15% is the statistic for all eco rounds, courtesy of some VCT Game Changers coaches who I've spoken with. But that is the statistic for, evenly matched teams where you find that that eco round win.
I still have to think these are 2 fairly even matchups as well. And to be in that 15 to 20% for collegiate based as well. That was an insane win. You got a couple new weapons as well. Basically putting in nothing but 2 quarter shields. That's it.
Yeah.
You had 2 half shields and you got almost 3 weapons out of it. That's a really good round for Asheville, for them to put themselves potentially back into this game. They're down by 2. With a spike down, though, they can bring this quickly back into a 7-8 round.
And, I mean, look at what Asheville's doing now. They planted the spike, they got out of there, right? They're aware of the fact that there could be a flank. They had the KJ turret to spot. But they know they have this longer range weaponry. They know that they can take these longer range fights, especially after winning that eco round, putting UNCG at terrible economic value. Kuzo got to find one through the Cypher cage as the fault line comes through. Recon Dart going to scan all of the members of UNCA, and they're just tucked down. They're just having a good time down there.
Yeah.
Kuzo going to find 4. I'm pretty sure he didn't see a single person that entire round. He just kind of he just kind of kept clicking left click. It just keep tapping away, and he's going to find 4 through the smoke. But that brings us 7-8.
That bonus round as well, very useful. You could see Kuzo's credits right now, 8,400. Almost max. And that's let alone where they got 4 frags in that last round. Not seeing a single person. That's still insane.
8 kills in the last 2 rounds is
diabolical.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good, I'd say.
I want to say diabolical because it's fairly uncommon when these teams are so close matched. It's going to be trades going back and forth, looking for it going down as well. But now we're just seeing a complete shift in momentum for Asheville.
Yeah, I mean they're doing a great job. I mean they're really bringing back Kuzo, kind of leading the charge here. You're going to see the paint shells come in, force Sponge out of that CT smoke, and Asheville's forced to play off. You see the Hunter's Fury coming online to deny the plant. Yeet and Banana Man kind of dancing around it, but not able to find much. As Asheville has a good post-plant hold on the C-bomb site. The showstopper coming through, going to scare away the UNCG players in Garage. Going to get tagged out. The aftershock coming through, spotted, not able to find the spam. Both blinded. Pandex finds 2. Finds a third as Yeet full blind kills him. Finding 2 back. Sponge. 3v1 situation. Can't get the spray through the box as UNCG recovers the bomb site. Oh my goodness.
The retake
what a
was
round.
close to perfect there from Greensboro. The paranoia came out, flashing the last 2 players on the site, able to just use so much utility as well to give them the advantage, give them the information that they needed, and overall, they came running into their crosshairs. It was less about playing those pickups and waiting. It was more about just waiting for them to find the right moments, and Greensboro did that perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, it was... You see the trading back and forth of ultimates, right? You had the Hunter's Fury come through immediately. Kuzo, that's kind of his go sign to say, oh, there's people Garage. I could just hit my funny little X button. I could just boop. I mean, a little bit of a whiff, right? Raise rocket, notably a bit silly in terms of how much damage it does and how far people are. But UNC Asheville not swayed from this C bomb site. You see a couple pop shots through the backside box onto Banana Man as Asheville looking to make their plant now. Trey finds 1 onto Yeet. 5v4 retake. Now Greensboro probably going to play this slow. They have the numbers advantage. They're just going to kind of shift out the Rolling Thunder coming through. Finds another onto Griptic. It's just Cal C Long, and he is immediately executed. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Oh my, indeed. That Rolling Thunder literally put everybody out of position from Asheville on site. They got the spike down, and that was all they could do.
I feel like we're sleeping on Pandex just a little bit.
Little
because
bit, yeah.
I just turn around, this guy's got 3 kills, and he's like, oh, I got the rolling. Okay, I'm just gonna rip that. It's just gonna go.
Yeah.
And he's
17-12
been
as well, top of his team.
yeah, 17-12-7 on the breach is a little crazy, a little
bit.
loaded. I mean, he's a team player with those 7 assists, but he's pulling his weight. He's doing what he's got to do. I think truly having a great initiator player who can kind of flex in the way that Pandex is, right? Going back and forth from the team player to the independent fragger as well, being able to play off his own util is what makes some of these teams shine and really pulls them together, whether they want to be or not. That really kind of puts them on the charted course they need to go. See a bit of a slower round from UNCA, going into a bit of a default, trying to sniff out some of the UNCG defense, try to break some of these trips maybe. See a couple pop shots from Banana Man, maybe recover some orbs, play that kind of ultimate economy game. But we now see the late reclear with the Owl drone coming through A-Long as UNCA slowly creeping their way.
And it's not a full commitment either. We're seeing Tejo and Omen still sitting towards mid, being like, okay, is this the move? Maybe, yes or no. Now they're going to start slowly walking up towards A, and they still have to meet Breach and Sova on site. Haven't been spotted. The paint shells will go out, so a little bit of damage can come through. The information to where the breach is, Pandex going to get spotted out, and now it's just going to be a gun battle. Pandex finds 2, trade it out though, and Spike will be planted, but it's just a matter of whether or not they can hold here. Has the information, knows Yeet's in the corner, gets Lenny Bear, Sponge, gets 2, traded out once more, 1v1, more paint shells, and it's all they wrote. Asheville take their 8th round.
It's just the Kuzo effect, I think. I don't think there's much more to say. At 23-12, this guy is just, whether it doesn't matter how the trades are going, how the post-plan situation is, this guy's dragging his team across the finish line to some of these rounds.
We will get to the end.
He's putting it together with duct tape and string and whatever he can find. Kuzo, now 1 off of the showstopper again. We have 2 really big ults as well, the Lockdown and the Armageddon for the side of UNCA.
Yeah.
Not much in terms of UNCG for the ult economy, but they do have the Operator online. Let's see what Lenny Bear can make do with that. Going to peek this short angle really early. UNCA, again, they've shifted to this really slow reclear, right? They haven't made much presence elsewhere. They're kind of doing everything they can to sniff out the weak side of the map. I think they're waiting on this Omen smoke. There's Sova. Ooh. Lenny Bear going to find one, immediately traded back through the smoke. Really unfortunate spam there, catching Lenny Bear. But UNCA is going to take this as the go-ahead as the lockdown comes through. Recon Dart trying to clear out the rest of the site. They're going to have this for free.
They are, and they also have a free operator now to their name.
Yep.
Lenny Bear able to get one. Fortunately for them, traded out Trey. Able to get Yeet on the back end, though. The flank does come through, and that spike is down now, too. The Owl Drone will be able to give them the location of where Trey is, but it's just going to be a crosshair walk and placement between both of these teams. That's given enough time for Greensboro to get back onto site and start playing these trades and start playing these initial conflicts. Spike is planted. So let's see whether or not Asheville can progress themselves in this game, bring it within a single round, or is Greensboro just going to pounce, Pandex being the forefront of it?
Yep, they're looking to flood now. They do have the flashpoints online, as it's just going to be a massacre coming out of the CT side of the map, just taken apart bit by bit by Asheville. There's not much to do there. I really think in terms of UNCG's utility, we have the fault line coming back. We have the ability to maybe bait out some util early from UNCA, and we didn't take it. We didn't want to be patient. We wanted to go. And I think truly patience there is a virtue. They really need to, I truly think waiting for some of those rechargeables to come back might have swung a few of those kills in their favor. They could have denied some space, prevented a few swings, might have, put a pebble in the blender that was the UNCA defense there, or for the retake.
Yeah, it was picture perfect. And now we're seeing 5 stacks throughout each squad on completely different sites. I rarely see this, but when we see it, it's a treat because it's so funny. They're going to have the site completely to themselves. I think they're going to recognize this very early on. Spike is getting planted, and it's going to be a full commitment. 5v5. They're running back. Do they know? They find out the conflicts are through. Trades coming from each side. Guided salvos going out to try to push them back a little bit. Some damage going to be done. But Greensboro, they just need to find a way back onto the site because it's full control from Asheville.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the brawl that happened in the deep sea long. Cal gonna get a spray through the smoke onto Lenny Bear. It's the 2v4. I mean, it's gonna be, you have one rifle recovered, right? You need to make something happen with that and pray that Kuzo doesn't find you through the smoke. The spray a little bit off, but finds the frag eventually. It's just gonna be Trey, Vandal in hand. I think he's electing to save this for the team, kind of knowing that their economy is a little worse for wear. He's gonna hold on to this going to the next round, and they're gonna readjust.
Oh,
3 players now dying to the spike from UNCA?
I think they were worried about getting exit fragged. I think they were very worried about that, but also you had the numbers advantage. It was a 3v1 going into B side.
There's a clear way out.
There is a very clear way out, and not reaching that threshold just put Greensboro in such a better position now that they're tied still. Yes, the economy not going to be the best. They're going to go for a timeout here. So with that being said, though, that's now more economy wasted on Asheville's side. They got it back to a tie, 10-10, but that's not going to be the best going forward. They still can do full buys with their loadouts, but it's just going to be whether or not they could do it if they lose this round again.
Yeah, I mean, it's you've brought it back to a 10-10 scoreline, right? They've recovered in every way, shape, and form, right? They still have an economy to work with, but my problem is I'm still just kind of puzzled as to how we're having 3 people die to the bomb.
Yeah.
You have one of your guys going towards CT, deep into defender spawn, and we're good. We know no one's there. We know there's a cipher. We saw him see long. We know that happened. We saw the initial trade happen. So why do we think that dying garage is a good option? I just don't. I'm sure I've done worse. I've done stupider things. I've done worse. But I'm just a little puzzled. I'll be so honest. It happened. It's done. But I'm still gonna be a little dumbfounded.
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of questions on the field. No answers are given.
Yeah.
But the answer now is at a tie game here at 10 in the late game. Who is going to be pushing forward? The questions of the day will be the commitment from each team onto these sites. Tripwire able to be spotted. Goat Banana fallen very early. Hunter's Fury as well. We'll be able to get the planter down a little bit of HP, but not much. Showstopper looking towards Trey in heaven, waiting to use it. That timer quickly about to be taken down and not gonna find any damage done, but that Hunter Fury once more just looking to pick off and give information. over to Greensboro.
Yeah, wasn't quite able to find any values. Lenny Bear now floods onto the site with the rest of UNCG, finds 2. Cryptic goes down. Kuzo, holding the short position, gets traded out by JRD. It's just Cal, the Armageddon coming through. The guided salvos as well. The bomb is hacked. He has to let them go now. He's too late. As UNCG secures the defuse, bringing them to 11.
They had the information as well off the guided salvos, but
Yeah.
those salvos just came out way too late, like you said. You had that post plant. You still...
I think it might have just been like the Armageddon masking the sound of the tap. I really think it might have just been...
It may have happened, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
It's unfortunate. Greensboro back in the advantage spot, though. They only need 2 more rounds to bring us through, but we only have 3 rounds left in regulation. We may see an overtime because it's very close. It's still way too early to tell who is going to take this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to glaze unnecessarily. It's Kuzo and friends. It's sorry, we're getting we're hearing some noise from the other B stream. I think they're getting a little hype over there. I hope it's a good game.
Yeah.
I hope it's as good as this. Honestly, I think
This is an
we're
amazing
having
game. Very
we're
intense.
having a great game right here.
Games going back and forth rounds, just being able to be taken off of questionable decisions, questionable tactics, but still tactics that give us so much content. We are seeing time and time again these trades coming out, and it's good team plays as well that has set both these teams apart. It's not individual performances besides obviously Kuzo and friends.
Yeah, besides Kuzo and friends. I mean, yeah, and we're gonna see UNCA just they're doing a good. They're back to again poking, prodding, finding their space. Strengthening that ult economy as well. Griptic, the Aldrone getting it taken out almost immediately, but they are aware that Trey is here. As he finds one quick execution onto Yeet in short. He's going to be forced out of the short position by the paint shells. The neural theft coming through, though, giving the position of all the UNCA players. You see Lenny Bear now working down mid. Might find his timing as Trey goes for the backstab. Bomb down in A lobby as Lenny Bear worked his way in a window. Not able to find the frag. Now UNCA grouped together, looking to push towards this B-bomb site. Trey has beat them there, able to maybe find a timing as the Shadow Step gets the plant down. The Aftershock coming through, maybe a bit of chip damage. Brought down to 20 as Trey finds the frag, bringing him to 3-4 for Trey. He's going to go for the ace. He's going to try to find it. He pushes through the smoke, and he finds it. Ace for Trey brings UNCG to 12.
Match point for Greensboro. And an ace for Trey. First ace of the day as well. We have seen 4K after 4K after 4K. No aces as of yet, but picture perfect gameplay there from Trey on Greensboro's side. Brings them one step closer to game, win, and victory said and done. Now, if you're Asheville, I'm asking this question once. And I need you to give me a proper response. I don't want to see I don't know, but whatever it needs to be, they need to do it quick. What does Asheville need to do to bring us to an overtime?
Shoot them. I don't know. Like I'm gonna be so honest. They just need to shoot back. They've done a good job of it so far, but we're leaving it up to Kuzo. It's a team game, right? We can't expect Kuzo to get a 4K every round. We can't keep having him make hero plays. It needs to be a team effort. We need to be trading consistently. Kuzo's going to find the opening pick. He's doing his job, but we need to trade back and forth more consistently. We can't be going for ones. We can't, especially in numbers disadvantage. We do have the Rolling Thunder coming through. They're aware of this. Very smart to get off. Did a good job of getting out of that space early. UNCG going to flood the space. Not aware of Spung in window. Kuzo's going to go down. The hero has been slain. Quick tap of the bomb, baiting out some early util. The shock dart gonna find JRD. Trying to do as much as they can. The Hunter's Fury coming through, gets the spam. It is now just Lenny Bear. The Shadow Step on the site, gets taken out by the Blade Storm. 2v1 situation. Sticks it. Unable to get it, just barely on the time. 0.07 on the defuse left. Was so close, and that is arguably too close for comfort if you're Asheville. I'm looking at that. Some of the reaction in the post-plant utility, the salvos, the shock darts have been okay, especially when you saw that frag from Griptic. But the salvos need to be quicker. There just needs to be a better communication of what's going where in the order of post-plant. We say, okay, first tap, I'm blinding. Second tap, I'm putting salvos.
Out, yeah.
I got shock darts. There needs to be a method to the madness here.
And we may see a method coming through. A very aggressive push from Trey. Won't be able to find it. Kuzo does get traded out. And are they aware of Pandex sitting in Cubby? They're going to rotate out, but they still need to be aware of this jet on the back end. Lenny Bear taken down. Going into heaven from the shadows. Very smart. Can they find the pick off? No. Goat Banana does fall through, and they're still going to try to attack A. It's still a commitment because they need to bring this to an overtime to keep their hopes alive. This is the final round of regulation. Spike is being planted. JRD hears it, tells down Pandex, hey, get over here. You're needed now. It's 2v3. Asheville with the advantage, but down in the game.
Yep, the Owl Drone going to spot out Pandex is a 2v3 retake, like you were saying. We do have the Teo tucked deep away in short as JOD finds Griptic. That's one member down. Recon Bolt going long, going to spot out the enemy player. At least make them aware that he's there. The Salvo's going to come through. He's getting pushed by JRD and Pandex. They're aware of Yeet's position. JRD going to take the one, and he's going to get it. That's 4 on the round, and the match for UNCG. Honestly, really well played in that 2v3 situation.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the rumors were a little bit true from what I heard. The UNCA did a little bit of choking. They had a really good start into that last round, right? You had a little bit of whiffage from Trey, right? Admittedly, he missed the spray. It's all good. Kuzo full stun, finds one. But 5 first bloods, 28-16. This kid is a beast. This kid is insane. Like, you just can't... The stats don't lie. He truly was what brought UNCA to this 13-11 scoreline. I think, yes, there were a lot of good compliments in certain rounds, right? Especially when you didn't see Kuzo drop 4, right? But it still needs to be a team game. I think outside of Kuzo, we need to make sure we're trading Kuzo. We need to make sure we're trading each other. We need to make sure we're doing things together. That's my biggest piece of, like, where things went awry. I don't think anything was played terribly. But overall, we got a banger series. It's a best of 1. Unfortunately, we don't get to have a best of 3 series. But
Would have loved it.
I would have loved it.
It would have went the distance.
It would have gone the distance.
It would have gone to 3 genuinely, and I think if we did have a best of 3, we may have seen a difference in this series. I do think Asheville probably could have taken a best of 3, but because it's a best of 1, you only get that one map in Haven. And Croat was right. It's unfortunate to say because we genuinely thought we could have seen overtime. It was going to go the distance. They just played way too passive on the post plant. They didn't stick on site. One player did, and it just came true to the form of not hitting your shots. Once Kuzo was down, it is just nothing.
We just gave too many ones.
Once Kuzo goes down.
Yeah, I mean, Kuzo went down. Like you said, Kuzo went down, but it was also we just gave too many ones.
Yeah.
Like that goes back to the trading. Like even in post plant, you just got to play the positions to trade each other out. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll be gearing up for the next one right here. What do we have next on the docket? Do you know?
I have no idea, man.
All right, well, we'll find out in 5-10 minutes, and we'll be back. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Triangle Takedown. I'm Cloudsy, joined by the same Nate Doggy Dog or Kev Doggy Dog. Wrong dog. There's two of them. I'm sorry. I get confused.
Man, I'm not Nate.
I know.
I'm Kev,
I
man.
know.
I'm
He was
Kev.
here yesterday, but I got
Yeah.
Kev Doggy Dog with me, and we're getting ready for Wake Tech against App State.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I am
so. I mean, we get some of these really nice matchups. I think this is the other side of the group, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if. I'm trying to remember where UNCG and I think UNCG, UNCA is our first group with NC State, and we have Wake Tech and App on the other side of that group. Yeah, well, a little back and forth. We'll figure it out. But I'm excited. I'm ready to see these teams play. I think Wake Tech is one of our good contenders for finals, coming out of these groups. If nobody knows, how we have the format set is we have two groups of 5, and we're playing round robin groups. So we'll have the best team from each group play in our finals. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to run the semis. Otherwise, I would have loved to.
It would have been amazing.
But I'm getting ready for this matchup. I'm pretty excited. How are you feeling about it?
I'm excited for it because I mean, you told me a little bit about this matchup beforehand. Wake Tech, very strong contenders to be the top of their group. App State, though, as well, towards the middle of the pack for their group. However, still has that performance ability to play up to the best.
Yeah,
So-
they definitely have a lot of good shooters, right?
Yeah,
like
I think this series can go the distance. We almost saw Asheville and Greensboro go the distance, but it will come down to whether or not they pull an Asheville and throw.
yeah. I mean, there's always room to throw, always room to troll, and that goes for any team, right? So it is what it is. I think we'll have a really interesting start to this game. I think I truly don't know what map we're on yet, but we'll see what the
figure
cook
that out.
is. We'll see what the map is, and I just want to see people get creative today. We're
I
on
do too,
Haven, I've been
'cause
told.
there's
So we're gonna be
so
playing
much.
Haven again.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance we see a default comp from one team. I'd love to see a Yoru ISO comp. I think that would be really interesting. Get something creative here. Let's take a look. See, it's looking like we do have a Yoru ISO comp. Oh,
There you
nope,
go.
maybe not. Let's take a look.
I think you might have lied to me.
I might have lied, but there is a Yoru, and that makes me happy.
Yeah,
so
that
I'm
dimensional
extremely-
drift going to come super in. We're not going to talk about that. The dimensional drift going to come super in handy, especially on this map, since it has the 3 sites. The information you can get of whether or not the site is clear. Yes, obviously, with that dimensional drift, your opponents will know if you are nearby, but they don't know exactly what your goal is for that ultimate. And it's going to come down as one of the biggest surprises if used properly.
Yeah, and we're now getting into the game here. You see, from the side of, I believe, Wake Tech is our blue side, is going to be Yoruteo Astra Breach Cypher, which is really, really something. I'm excited to see what... Oh, sorry. Flip that around. App State on the Yoru dubs with 2 right off the rip. Cord finding a 3rd, and they are absolutely shredding through this Wake Tech team right now. Cord finding another. It is just down to Swag. Shoots the Yoru clone. The Teo drone coming through as it's Lloyd and Cord to swing and find the round. 2 men left standing as App State goes to 1.
They were able to make it work for a moment, but that was such an aggressive push from App State on straight into mid, just not waiting for them to push a site. It was literally, hey, you might peek window, I'm going to take your head off. It was less of a, okay, let's play the sites, be patient, everything. We're the defense, we're not supposed to be playing aggressive, or at least we shouldn't be on this map. It was more of, hey, I'm going to threaten you with this, and if you try to do it again, it's going to end up being the exact same response. But we are seeing a bit of a default push now from Wake Tech on the attack. They were looking towards a site. That's a beautiful pickup from Sizzy. Straight down C long. Very early elimination there. Dazzle, he's on site. Flashpoint going out, able to get 1. Still has the jet to deal with here on site. Looking around, able to get the swing as well. 2 eliminations for Dazzle here in round 2. Able to use it to his advantage with that shot. Doesn't land though. And now it's just going to be looking for another rotation coming out from App State. Or sorry, Wake Tech.
Yeah, and I mean, this Wake Tech team has proven to be strong. The match we saw earlier today, the very first of the day, we had Bueno, former Wake Tech student. So this is kind of the roster he left behind, with a few new additions in his stead, obviously. But we're now looking at Sizzy and I believe Dazzle? Pangs, excuse me. Aggressing this garage position. Sheriff's in hand, caught out by the Cypher Cam. Tagged out here. App State holding 3 to that T-bomb site. Looking to catch something. The tripwire gonna find Sizzy. They're now aware that Wake Tech is making their way through this B-bomb site. The bomb's gonna go down. Plant coming through, 14 seconds left. Spots out Dazzle. Sizzy. Paranoia comes through. He's aware that is the Omen, or the Yoru clone, excuse me. Dazzle finds Sizzy, 3 on the round. As Pangs finds 1. 1v2 situation, finds the second. It's all down to the Tubs, and it's a little bit of run and gun with the Spectre. Pangs making that one dangerous, but that'll bring App State to 2.
I honestly thought they had it. I genuinely did. I thought that this one was going to go into a tie game with App State being able to bring that back. Or sorry, Wake Tech being able to bring that one back after the post plant. It's something that needs to be made knowledgeable to you guys right now, is that so many teams, they're playing the same map, but different playstyles coming out with different agent selections as well. Obviously, you get a couple of recurring, such as Breach, such as your Sova, such as your Tejo as well for the defense side, and your post plant. Yoru, though, Astra. I mentioned Astra in the last series, wanting to see some of that because you have the pull, you have your smokes as well, and you can still concuss with them. Plus, also, just being able to cut the map in half on a 3-site map is going to be so useful if able to be utilized correctly for your pushes. And now we're seeing going into B, those smokes already coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we see now as Wake Tech crowds his B-bomb site, able to get the plant down. And gap in that smoke, didn't quite see Tubbs, but you know, now we're in a post-plant situation. App State, that previous buy round was a little risky for them, simply because they weren't quite able to hold on to a lot of their guns. So we only have that Outlaw with maybe a Bucky or 2 in hand, shotguns in hand. As Zan finds Lloyd on the site, finding another onto the Tubbs. Has to get out of back gong as the salvos come through. Dazzle finds 1. Now 2v2. Look at Cord on the flank. So deep. Finds 1. Gets immediately taken out by Sizzy. And Pang's there to clean it up as well as Swag and Dazzle dance around on the bomb site. And that'll give Wake Tech their first round.
That's a good play to get that one back as well. Just that post-plant hold was so strong. They got really early onto that B site as well. Very aggressive with their push and just made it work, taking out all of the opportunities that anyone could be sitting on site with the utility, and then just held them within A-Link and C-Link with more utility as well. They used, and the communication between that team was perfect.
Yeah, really well executed. And now we see Tubbs with the operator online, immediately taking that A-line. He's going to go tell his team, hey, they're not here. I've got this. I got it covered. We can leave A entirely. We do have that gate crash all the way back in A spawn for an easy rotate and get out of jail free card. But Zan going to take first contact, finds Lloyd. Have the entirety of that C bomb site to themselves. As it looks like App State attempts to flood. Persuaded off of pushing out. As the neural theft comes through, they should get a free plant here for the side of Wake Tech. We do have the Armageddon online. Cord poised to use it. Not quite yet. Wants to make sure they play patient. Play their util coordinated as Tubbs finds 1. 4v4 retake. The salvos come through, forcing Zan out into the open. As Cord works his way through garage. Gets spotted out by the cam, immediately taken out by Pangs. Dazzle finds another trade back, but it's just not enough. 1v3 situation, finds the first. 2 players remain, the Rolling Thunder finds both. 1 deep long, he's not aware of Swag on the site, but it doesn't even matter. Sizzy, I think not really taken by the ult, not stunned, concussed, whatever, was able to just secure that frag, but either way, I mean, great use of the ult, but just the awareness of Sizzy's position was just needed to be a little more. We need to make sure that both players are getting caught by that one.
I agree with that, but also when you are pinned to the back of the site, it's just so difficult to play out. I would have preferred if that Rolling Thunder came a little bit later, because I don't know if he had the information that Swag was sitting on site. But if he did, I would have preferred that 1v1 to be taken first, play that, and then use your Rolling Thunder. Those guided salvos, though, coming out very early on. So is that fault line as well. And we are seeing now very aggressive defense from App State. They do fall eventually. Cord taken down by the Blade Sword from Zam, trying to just keep this one in play. Flashes do find their way through, and the spray's coming across, and they're trying to take control of the site. They're able to make a little bit of it work. Spike does get planted, but Dazzle finds a trade somehow.
Yeah, Dazzle just jumping through with that Bucky, finding one as the Tub's in heaven. Marshall in hand, 65 HP, trying to make something happen. Unable to find the shot as Pangs takes him down. Nice little headshot angle as Pangs cleans up with 4. Doesn't even matter. He does have that rolling Thunder online, so those kills kind of got, you know, proved no real ultimate economy value. They kind of just got eaten up there. He's had that since the beginning of the round. But really good showing so far from Wake Tech. They kind of recovered from those first 2 rounds and just kind of establishing their pace now. They kind of say, okay, we lost the pistol. It's okay if we lose the next round. Just do as much damage as we can. And now they've really found their stride, and I think they're going to try to take this as far as they can.
See if they can continue with the dominance. Peng as well. 9 and 5.
Yeah,
but still,
really good start.
He's been playing absolutely insane. We saw the 4K now as well. The Tubs trying to play a bit aggressive with that teleport, able to get out of harm's way if needed. But it does look like off of the lurk, it's going to be knowledge that the Tubs is there. However, it does look like to be an A commit. And once more, we are seeing the utility from both of these teams playing very well to combat the play styles. That Armageddon very early on with it, but it does find Raptic, so he falls eventually. Could not make it into the cubby, and the lurk as well. Swag able to find one, but quickly traded back.
Yeah, now we're back in this post-plant situation. The bomb going to go down. Ultimate's traded back and forth. Zan finds one, pushed up in this position. Unable to get the second onto Mal. They're aware of the Heaven player Cord. The Dimensional Drift coming through as Mal finds one. Flooding onto this Omen backside, able to just get out of the way with From the Shadows. This is just Pangs alone on site. But crazy, comes back down, cancels the From the Shadows to find 2. Absolutely diabolical outplay there. I mean, it's just, how, why? What? Huh? How are we just not watching the Omen ult? We're so convinced that he's going to go away. I mean, either way. Really, really well played. A lot of ultimates. I'm pretty sure that's okay, not all the ultimates, I lied. But so many ults back and forth through that round. And truly, I think I don't know. I think Wake Tech's kind of pulling ahead here in terms of economy as well.
It's very questionable about what App State was trying to do. They got that early frag off with the Armageddon. And then we're just looking again at this aggressive defense that has worked for them before when they're with the advantage in their weaponry and economy. They're not in that anymore, so playing with that aggression really hasn't worked for them as of yet, because now it's a clear B site. Maybe able to get that lurk from Dazzle here, looking into mid, but it's been spotted out, so with the flashpoint, gonna try to be able to get swag. They do be able to get taken down. Those guided salvos not landing either, but eventually he will fall through. But the spike's already planted. It doesn't matter. You're on a retake with the man disadvantage as well.
Yeah, it's truly just gun disadvantage. I mean, like, they're gonna have to make something happen with the Deagles here. Cord finds the frag, 2v2. Deagles in hand as Lloyd and Cord close in on the site, sorry. We have Raptic goes down. It's now a 1v1. Cord, Vandal in hand, finds Pang. He's stunned! And that's 3 on the round for Cord and an eco round win for App State. I believe we'll see the Thrifty message here. We have no one sponsoring these Thrifties, but, you know.
Thrifty! It was beautiful as well.
We can call it the Visit Raleigh Thrifty.
Yeah, fair play.
We can call it the Visit Raleigh Thrifty, I think.
It is indeed the Visit Raleigh Thrifty now here at the Triangle Takedown. But now we are starting to think what was going down regarding it, because we get a timeout now from App State. They did win that last round, however, so it still is their momentum, but that aggressive defense we were seeing from them very early on in the round is going to be questionable once again of what they are going to do going forward. They no longer have the wherewithal between the jump with this aggressive defense. Wake Tech, they know exactly how they're going to play, and they're able to get the frags because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wake Tech had a really structured start, right? Like they understood going out of this pistol in the bonus round that they just needed to catch their slide and get their rounds. But App State, you know, coming out of that round, they hit the shots they needed to hit. They did what they needed to do, right? They were very winnable gunfights. They saw that Wake Tech had a little bit of sloppiness on some of these mid fights, giving up a lot of these early guns to App State, or, you know, leaving them around kind of deal. The trades going back and forth were a little too in favor of App, and it just got sloppy. So I think this is to kind of really show that, say, hey, they're not playing as cut and dry and clean, you know, as they need to be on rounds like these. Let's take advantage of that. Let's restructure. We're going into a buy round. We have the operator back onto Tubbs. So, like, let's make something happen here. We're going to see him set up towards that C side, and we're going to have a similar kind of like, let's stack away from it. Let's give him the opportunity to play how he needs to play. Recon Bolt, not going to see much. They are aware the players towards the C side. Flashpoint going towards the garage. It's nothing to follow up with, though. It's all just smoke and mirrors, right? Like it's not much to work with.
Yeah, and I'm liking this though. They're playing defensive now. That operator will find one, finds two as well. They do teleport away. They don't want to get caught out too much off of the operator cooldown on your movement. But that is now also a very strong position for App State. 2 frags with the operator onto the Tubbs. And let's see if they can do it more. They're going to reposition over to this A site, but they're still going to be neat with it. Guys' elbows do come out. Halts down. Wake Tech's push. But it's just so much utility being used. I don't know if App State will be able to hold the site.
Yeah, both teams doing a great job of kind of letting their util go first and kind of letting that do most of the work for them before we have to take any actual gunfights, right? But App State kind of corralled Wake Tech into this A main position, and they're just going to turn around and catch out the overextend from Cord as they slowly work their way back towards this A bomb site. They're trying to maybe pull a few rotates away. The smoke coming in heaven, going to lock down that operator to Tubbs, looking to drop down, immediately stunned. The over flash coming through. Is Peng finding 2?
One enemy remaining.
Sizzy finding another. Are they aware of Lloyd coming up short? Denies the plant 4 seconds, but crazy. Or, sorry, Sizzy there to get the trade back almost immediately. Really good play by Lloyd, especially prioritizing the planter there. Just, you know, the trade was there. They were ready for it. They were holding it. Just not almost. So close.
It was a little too late on the lurk for me. I think it was a great play. Lloyd, yes, but they just played way too late. They were too cautious, in my opinion. They should have been able to run through CT because it would have already been information given to you that they are near the site, pushing out, and they are all 3 there. You are able to hear individual footsteps, and all 3 of them were able to be spotted. So going into round 9 now, Ultimate's still active for both squads, but the only one ready for the usage of it will be that Hunter's Fury, just to get some information, but they're going to hold on to that. Let the Owl Drone do some seeking for them instead. Raptic trying to find one. Won't be able to do much there. Nothing through garage. Are they aware of this A stack?
Yeah, are they aware of Mal tucked in this corner? I believe so, as Sizzy's just kind of like looking to sniff him out a little bit as they kind of poke and prod around the map. And again, like you said, they're looking for that stack. Looking to try to find where these players are as App State stands a little bit down A short, realizing they're not there. I think they're kind of letting Mal know, hey, you might be in trouble pretty soon, as he's starting to see the Uso come through a little early on the shot, but finds one. Not able to find the second. Bomb down C long as Wake Tech floods onto the site. Operator in the hands of Zan. Swags works his way up garage, spots one, finds Cord. He's aware of Dazzle's position as the bomb goes down. Seems to be privy of Floyd pushing garage. Flash coming through, executed. His Swag got him. Finds Lloyd, that's a 3rd on the round. He's aware of Dazzle's position, 1v4. Almost impossible to win. Swag is insane. So clean on the aim.
I'm sorry? Being able to flick like that is close to nothing regarding insane. Like you said, Swag, the way he was able to transfer his weight from his feet, able to get those shots off on target as well. And the headshot on the Lloyd in garage. Complete 180. He was looking the other direction. Shots flew from Lloyd. None of them connected. And all he had to do was turn around, hit one shot, and Lloyd's out of here. That's a 4K for Swag and a perfect round for Wake Tech.
Yeah, guy like the Zikos. He farmed them. I mean, he got what he needed to get. You see Wake Tech kind of gearing towards this A-bomb site, put some early pressure. I think they're aware this is Cypher site. They haven't quite seen Cypher Cam yet. Spotted out, broken by Pangs. They're aware Lloyd's going to be playing these kill trips in heaven. Going to do everything they can to break them and secure this site. Spotted out Dazzle backside as he finds one on a Swag. Very same Rolling Thunder coming through. Gonna barely catch Dazzle as he leaves the site. It's looking like App State looking to play retake. Guardian Spam finds nothing. Drops down, unable to get the cage up. As the Dimensional Drift gonna spot out all of the Wake Tech players here. Gonna make as much noise, much distraction. The Armageddon coming through. As all the players leave, as the Tubbs coming out of the Dimensional Drift finds one on the Zan. Spotted out in Graffiti, Dazzle finds another. In Hell, 3 on the round. This is Ring Around the Rosie with Pangs as he's executed by Cord. And that'll bring App State to 4.
That Armageddon, paired with the Dimensional Drift, was literally perfect to at least get one. They were able to bring it all the way through, force them back into a long, and it was just a matter of time for the Tubbs. Maybe almost got caught off guard after using their clone. Almost got caught using their utility, but it was just perfect plays all together to give him that early frag.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a combination of really good ults, and they just, again, like you said, the Tubbs got bailed out a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Operator in hand. He's privy to the fact that Sizzy likes to go down here. The jump across, not going to do much to throw off the crosshair of the Tubbs. Finds the opening frag. Peng spotted in window. A little bit of tagging done as Lloyd cleans up the kill. 3v5 for Wake Tech. They're still committed to walking towards this B site. Flashpoint coming through. Zan unable to help. Dazzle finds one. Lloyd helps find the second. Bombs down in window. I don't think they're quite aware. But they're now privy to Swag's location. Dazzle can be the first to swing. Taken down as Mal trades his teammate right back. Swag unable to find the second as App State goes to 5. We are closing the gap here on the remaining rounds of this half.
There's only one round of this half, and it could bring us to a 6-6 going into the next half as well. Apparently, Haven is just the map of let me bring this as close as possible and see where we go from there.
It's a pretty cut and dry map,
Yeah.
to be honest. We have a little bit of variance in terms of what App State brings to the table, the Yoru, the Breach, the Teo. Other than that, it's kind of it's how you play the map is pretty cut and dry, right? Like you have, it's just the slight differences of having a Yoru as opposed to a Jet, right? Just different utility in different situations is what Wake Tech needs to adapt to. And truly, that's what's gonna make or break this. Like how many creative plays App State can make with that Yoru Teo Breach combo, and how well Wake Tech adapts to them. Like it's just that's really gonna be the deciding factor here, I think.
Looking towards the B site, backing off a little bit early. They're just waiting to find an early frag. They're waiting for the offensive pushes that we know and are utilizing by App State. The Tubbs able to find Pangs on the back end. Spike is down as well. Don't know if he is aware of it though. Bladestorm still out on Zan. Trying to find one, trying to re-pick up that spike. They do manage to get it. Omen now looking towards C site, trying to give a little bit of help in Garage. Hunter's Fury's out, has the information. Will they be able to find Mal? They're on low HP, but they don't find anything, but it doesn't matter. Sizzy with 2 eliminations on his own. Mal all alone on site, low HP, looking for the frag, can't find it. And the Tubbs finishes out one more off of the lurk. The sprays through, a little bit of damage done here as well, but the 1v3, 1v2, the Tubbs looking for more, looking to make this work, but both of them just sitting in Garage. That Neuro Theft will go out, and I don't know if he'll be able to bring himself back.
Tubbs getting a little deep here, thinking both players are towards C long. Spots out Raptic in Garage. I think he's now aware that both players are positioned towards the CT side as Swag swings to find one as he tries to stick to half. That'll bring us to a 7-5 scoreline going into this half. Honestly, kind of what you expect for an attack half. Like, there we saw this last game, and I think we're just going to see more of it to come. I mean, we'll see how much App State can bring it back, or if it's just going to really just be a closeout from the side of Wake Tech.
Here on the attack as well, App State. They have a fairly defensive agent grouping. You have your Astra, you have your Tejo, you have your Cypher to be able to hold sites and stuff like that, be able to take retakes with your Breach and Tejo as well, and then Yoru to collaborate and bring it all together like glue. Now on the attack, it's going to be utilizing your smokes, utilizing your flashes, and your utility for Tejo to bring yourself onto site and potentially play with Tejo on that post plant. But then you also have that Yoru you still need to be worrying about into tubs. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize themselves in this second half on the attack. And it isn't as aggressive as they were, at least not in the pistol round, like they were in defense.
Yeah, we see Sizzy find one immediately out on the C-bomb site. But it's looking like App State's trying to commit. You see a bit of util being used as the Tubbs finds back sight. Spam through the smoke by Cord. Zan, a couple pop shots and gets out. Are they aware of the current position? They hear maybe Zan drop into garage. The bomb is down. Astra utility available to deny some of this push. Tubbs has a strong backside position. The Minima Sheriff coming through. Finds one as it's traded back threefold. Raptic finds another 2v1 situation. They're aware of the Tubbs position backside. The gate crash to get him out. Now it's just Cord and Garage. He's going to play for the salvo as he's the win con in this situation. Raptic searching. Not able to find anything. Didn't clear his corners as the Tubbs finds 3 on the round, bringing App State to 6.
That was a close round as well.
Yeah.
Both of Wake Tech's players were on very low HP. There was a good possibility of making it work. Or sorry, both of App State's players were on low HP. I'm sorry about that. I keep getting confused for some reason. I don't understand why I keep doing that. But regardless of it, it was a very close round. Within one now on the rounds between a tie and a pushover. See what they're going to be able to do, because I am just waiting to see whether or not Wake Tech will continue pushing away or if they are going to become stagnant here on the defense.
Yeah, we got an early A show from the side of Wake Tech. App State just want to be careful re-clearing into this. I think they're slowly detecting that since there's no one on that short line, they can kind of go take their space for free as Zan swings out of garage, finds one with a classic. A little unexpected. It causes a small disrupt from the side of App State, but they aren't aware that Zan is getting over-aggressive with this classic as he goes down to Cord. Becomes a little privy to it. But look at the rotates from the side of Wake Tech. I mean, they're already instantly on the A site. They were kind of thinking, okay, they're gonna rotate over, but you know they think they're gonna play slow here. And I think the fact that App State's now taking this, they realize, oh, maybe the stack's kind of funneled towards this A site. We're to go back, split into the C. No Cypher trips on the site. The Tubbs here just trying to like maintain, hold the rotates towards this A site. As Cord and friends kind of slowly walk into C. They aren't aware of Sizzy. Might be able to find a timing. Not likely.
They are separated,
finds
though.
the frag.
They are separated from the bomb right now. Swag able to take down the Tubbs. They're sitting in deep into this mid area. Trying to find Appcord. Very large swing. Won't be able to fall. No time to go for a plan. Has to find the eliminations. Maybe looking for B, but they don't check their corners in Raptic. They fell privy to it in the last round. Mal falls to the same fate. Not checking the corners and getting shot from behind.
Yeah, that's a really good eco from the side of Wake Tech. I mean, it's doing that round fully with classics is huge. I mean, like, I'm not 100% sure what happened in Garage. I think Swag had a deagle there, just wasn't quite able to... There's a little bit of a movement diff, maybe, from Zan. The strafes back and forth, classic in hand, maybe find the double dink. But either way, great round from the side of Wake Tech. Guns recovered, guns bought up, and they're just going to try to hold on to those for the time being and deny any of these App State pushes. A few pop shots through window from Zan. They're aware of some mid presence, excuse me. They're looking for the Cypher utility in Garage. The Tubbs going to take first contact. Here's the Alladrone. They look to break that and maybe get out a little bit. Find Zan on the site. Dazzle taken down. Immediately they're going to back off. The Tubbs. The timing, flash in hand, gets taken out by Swag. Zan, ooh, nice flick there. As Izzy runs down Cord, insta headshot, punishes him for his hubris. As Zan finds the trade back, 3 on the round. Unable to find the 4th, but Swag gets him across the finish line, bringing us to a 9-6 scoreline.
This is exactly what I was saying as well. Wake Tech, they're starting to push away. It was going to be whether or not they fall down another round, which then eventually would lead them to the snowballing here in this game. They didn't fall in the second round of this second half, though. Yeah. They were able to bring it to a close somehow, some way with that full classics, like you said. Again, we don't exactly know what happened in Garage, but it worked out well for them.
I mean, yeah, they just had confidence, I think, really swinging at Garage. And they're just not a pistol team. I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, they're 0 for 2 on pistols this map. But, you know, when you're winning every other gun round, it doesn't matter.
That is true. And they have the information here as well. Raptic spotted out, so they're going to try to rotate, but now it's just a stack in the back of sight. Eventually, it is going to be a push out from App State. Not going to be able to find the initial conflict. Zan taking 1. So does Swag. Finds 2 there. 2v5 looking for 1. They do manage to get it, but is it enough? No. Spotted out 3 for Zan and another round for Wake Tech.
Yeah, I mean, they did Wake Tech did a really good job of just instantly flooding on the site, really switching up the tempo on their retakes, right? They've kind of played passive, they played slow, coordinating their util, their swings together, but the call there was just to flood. Like, there was nothing stopping them from coming out of CT. You'd like to see some of the Teo salvos maybe swap over to there. They're just clearing out some of the spaces so the Tubbs could get back in there. But I don't think App State was expecting the flood instantly.
Yeah.
Like, they just had so much to clean up. A few isolated fights, right? You had the Tubbs TP back C, and just a little bit of whiffage. Maybe it would have been 1 for 1, but I don't know if that really alters the round that much. I think it was just Swag and Zan coming out of CT, just really cleaning up that round. Well done. We do have the timeout coming in from App State coach Algebra. Hope he's doing some quick math to kind of save them.
Hopefully it's better than caster math.
Hopefully it's better than caster math. The caster math is
difficult.
Scuffed. It's scuffed to say the least.
Very scuffed, but you know what's not scuffed right now? Wake Tech. They are not playing scuffed whatsoever. They are playing
pretty
as a team as well. We're seeing a lot of isolated moments from App State to Tubbs, 15-11-4, Core 13-12-4 as well. But they're not playing together most of the time. They're getting very early frags taken against them, and then it's just an instant rotation. Wake Tech are starting to pick up on that as well with their early rotations for it.
It's a little difficult. I mean, they don't have any, like, real info besides Takedown, right? Like, and this Yoriko, and maybe it still, like, kind of counts as taking it with a body. Instant trade there, you know, Raptic screaming for help, I imagine. But numbers advantage for the side of App State, or excuse me, Wake Tech. Where am I at? App State. I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth. The colors are confusing. It's hard, man.
Again, caster math is difficult, guys.
Caster math is difficult,
and y'all underestimate it so often. But what's not needing to be underestimated is the amount that Sizzy has to offer here in Heaven. Looking for something, able to find a couple headshots, not able to push out anymore. Spike is down, so time against Wake Tech here. Lloyd, very close with that Sheriff, trying to get that cage down, trying to pick off Sizzy. Maybe isolate this fight here and there, but it will be a coordinated attack coming out from Wake Tech.
Yeah, App State with these deagles is not something to be trifled with, as they find 3 almost instantly on the retake. They don't. I think they just stick with deagles for the rest of the map. I mean, it's working. Every eco I see App State with a deagle, they're just taking heads left and right. Saw two from Lloyd there. Dazzle finding his. Even with the Omen Shadow step in, it was, oh my goodness. Yeah,
let alone that. Another Visit Raleigh Thrifty.
Another Visit Raleigh Thrifty. Another Visit Raleigh Thrifty indeed. I mean, it's just, they're so calm, collected.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just makes me think if they're overthinking some of these executes on, like, say, C, for instance, just like where things are going wrong on these gun rounds and what they need to do to fix them. You see the gate crash, down A short. He's going to look to try to maybe find some info B. Spots out 2. What is it, the TP A short? Maybe to help get some info. As Lloyd takes contact, he's all the way through to Heaven. uncontested, but Raptic finds the late short player from Lloyd. As the Tubbs helping pinch the bomb site, finds Raptic, just caught out in the open as the Armageddon comes through. App State has the bomb site. Bomb going down now as the Tub gets out of heaven. Recognize the reclear coming through. No smoke to help them out. Cord gets taken out by Sizzy. From the shadows, online. Gonna be popped. And stuck into this A-long position. Split between short and long. Dazzle on an island here. Taken out by Sizzy. The two remaining App State players in short. Not a lot of util to flush them out. They're gonna have to win their guns. Now finds one, but both the Wake Tech players, Sizzy and Pangs, are gonna clean it up, bringing Wake Tech to 11.
2 rounds. 2 rounds separate them from the win here in the series.
Yeah.
It is only 2 rounds for Wake Tech, and they have 3 ultimates online. They have your Hunter's Fury, they have the Blade Storm, and they have the Neuro Theft. Only ultimate for App State is currently that Neuro Theft. It's great for information, but that's the only information that they have.
Yeah. I think also looking at the timeline here, you see a lot of these rounds are coming down to eliminations rather than defuses. I think App State's doing a really good job finding their opening picks, but everything's falling apart in the post plan on this attack. It's tough to say the least, right? You're gonna see an early push down C here from the side of Wake Tech. Oop, little whiff on the Cypher trip. Call that classic first bullet inaccuracy moment. But App State looking to reclear. They recognize that. They back off from the angle. They've taken their space. They're kind of hoping to funnel App State, maybe a little bait, like carrot on the stick, to come towards C into this stack. Jump spot finds Cord. And they're aware the remainder of App State is kind of tucked in this grass position. Few pop shots here and there. Not able to find much, though. Spray through the smoke. Cord goes down to 70. App State's already geared towards an A hit. They realize they've pulled all the Wake Tech players towards the C site. They're taking it. Maybe a little more util expended on the take than would be ideal. But they're going to have their bomb site. As Zan tries to find one. A little bit of a hero play, not able to find it. The Hunter's Fury coming through, try to deny the plant. Stalled it out for just a minute, but not quite. The Neural Theft going to show the positions of all the Wake Tech players. And just waiting after that, Sizzy's going to go on the lurk. Spots out the Cypher trip. Did not get hit by it. We see the Shadow Step through on the mini-map. Raptic finds one on the core from Heaven. Almost finding a second onto Dazzle. 2 HP in a dream. Lloyd, aware of the heavy play. Nice crossfire there. Swag and Sizzy cleaning up outside of CT. As the Tubbs finds one. Traded out, not able to find another. A Swag brings them to 11 with a 3K. Or 12 with a 3K, excuse me.
Very early on, they lost the advantage. They committed almost 4 of their players out of the 5 over to that C site when it was already strongly an A push. And that is what one lurker can do. But then they managed to play together as a team, isolating those fights with 2v1s and being able to bring them to their knees. App State now, no lives left here in this game. They need to win 5 in a row in order to tie this one and bring it to an overtime. If they cannot, Wake Tech will bring themselves to a 13th round and finish out this game with a victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly just going to be how many rounds can we play perfectly, right? Like, the pressure's on for App State. You see an early take into Garage. They're really kind of little 1-2-2 offense here. Just kind of poking, prodding, finding the Cypher util, looking for gaps, making as many question marks on the map for the Wake Tech defense. As App Lloyd gonna find a contact onto Raptic in short. Not able to get the trade, or the frag though, excuse me. A little bit of a freeze. Waiting, listening for anything. The side of Wake Tech. It's making pressure towards C. You gotta be careful here. Not get caught out. Swag just finding his timing to swing has been so huge in this match as they back away.
Look at this though.
They're looking to regroup. Look at Teo here. Look at Cord. He's pushed all the way up towards CT. He's going to deny any early flood. I don't think Wake Tech is aware that he's here.
I don't think so either. It's been a full silent motion. That flashpoint does go through, but no press off of it. They're not going to check him. Zan, he's going to run right through. Appcord gets one, and those guided salvos will go out as well to try to find a way out of this corner. Could not figure it out, though. But a 2v4 now. Wake Tech, Paranoia is out. Both players are blind. Just need to spray him down. The Paranoia does fall through, but both of them peek the same angle, one after another. They will fall. And with that defuse, it has been stated. A victory and a 13-7. One at that for Wake Tech.
My truth stay hidden for one day more.
Yeah, I mean, it was commanding going into that second half. I think App State did a really good job on defense, kind of keeping that 7-5 half, but they just couldn't quite find their opportunities to win out on that attack side. It's a little tricky with the Yoru, right? You kind of have to set them up really well in order for him to truly shine. But Zan, 7 first bloods.
Yeah.
On that game. Did a really good job taking those first engagements on duelists, especially towards that defensive half. Got really aggressive, especially at a garage short. Classic in hand on that eco round. But that's a 13-7 game. I think Wake Tech kind of did, I don't know what we expected, so to say. I think both teams had a really good showing, but Wake Tech just really showed a lot more structure, I think.
I agree, and I think it also comes to show that there is one big lesson we have learned in this game. It's to check your corners. That's the biggest lesson we could figure out, because that was truly what fell for App State. They didn't check their corners. They were pushing into things blind. They used their utility, but after using their utility, they would think everything is clear. There was small gaps that Wake Tech could just pinpoint and just bring themselves to, and because of it, they were able to play that more structured play. They were able to play better as a team for those retakes, for the attack as well. And we go through with now Wake Tech being in one of those very strong positions to make that grand finals.
Yeah. And, we'll see where we're at after lunch. I think we'll get a little update with the standings and come back to you guys. But for now, we're going to break for lunch. I'm hungry, and I'm sure the viewers at home are as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah, I am very hungry.
We'll be back in, I don't know, we'll say 30 minutes. We'll see where we're at. But it's pizza time, and I'm hungry. So take it easy, guys. We'll be back soon.